8 greatest engineering successes of the 1970s. The 1970s is remembered as the decade that killed the car. Fuel crises, emission regulations, and corporate timidity strangled horsepower and flattened performance across every showroom on Earth. What almost nobody remembers is what engineers quietly built underneath that regulatory pressure. The turbocharger as a road car tool, anti-lock brakes, ground effect aerodynamics, and the hot hatch. Every one of those ideas now defines how modern cars work. Every one of them was invented, refined, or perfected in the decade everyone wrote off. These are the 8 greatest automotive engineering successes of the 1970s. Number 8. The Honda CVCC engine, 1972. The 1970s were defined by a single regulatory event, the United States Clean Air Act of 1970, which required automotive manufacturers to reduce hydrocarbon, carbon monoxide, and nitrogen oxide emissions by 90% over existing levels within 5 years. The deadline was 1975. General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler all lobbied Congress to delay or weaken the requirements, arguing the technology needed to meet them simply did not exist yet. Honda disagreed. In 1972, Honda introduced the compound vortex controlled combustion engine, universally known as the CVCC. Developed under Soichiro Honda's direction and refined by engineer Yoshio Nakamura, it added a third small valve and a separate pre-combustion chamber beside each main combustion chamber, feeding an extremely lean mixture that triggered more complete combustion without needing a catalytic converter. The system met the 1975 Clean Air Act standards in 1972, 3 years before the deadline, without the power loss or drivability problems the American manufacturers claimed were unavoidable. Honda offered to license the technology. Chrysler, Ford, and GM all studied it and declined. The CVCC appeared in the 1975 Honda Civic. It remains the clearest proof from the entire decade that the engineering problem every large car manufacturer claimed was unsolvable had already been solved. Number 7. The Lotus 78 ground effect car, 1977. Colin Chapman had built his entire reputation at Team Lotus on finding the rule that nobody else had noticed. In 1975, with the Lotus 72's development exhausted and the team losing ground to Ferrari and Brabham, Chapman sat in his office at Ketteringham Hall and decided the answer was a wing car. What followed was the most consequential single engineering insight in the history of Formula One. Chapman and aerodynamicist Peter Wright had been studying how an inverted airplane wing pressed against the ground would behave. The same wing near the ground generated dramatically more downforce because the ground sealed the low-pressure zone beneath it, preventing air from bleeding around the edges. The team ran the Lotus 78 in 1977, while spreading disinformation that its improved performance came from a new differential, successfully preventing rivals from understanding what they were looking at. The 1978 Lotus 79, the refined version with properly sealed sliding skirts, won 6 races and the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships with Mario Andretti. Ground effect was subsequently banned, unbanned, and banned again. The principles Chapman and Wright established in 1977 are taught in every serious aerodynamics program in the world. Number 6. The Porsche 911 Turbo Type 930, 1975. Before the 911 Turbo arrived in the spring of 1975, the turbocharged road car was not a concept that existed in practical terms. Turbocharged engines were considered fragile, unreliable for daily use, and temperamental in a way that made them suitable for racing, but not for customers. Porsche changed all of that in a single model year. The Type 930 was built to homologate Porsche's 3.0-liter RSR Turbo for Group 4 racing, requiring 500 road cars. The production 911 Turbo received a KKK turbocharger on a 3.0-liter flat 6, producing 260 horsepower, a whale-tail rear spoiler, and wide rear fenders. The car reached 250 kilometers per hour. Its KKK turbocharger produced significant lag before kicking in like an afterburner between 3,000 and 4,000 RPM. In a corner, that sudden power surge on a short wheelbase rear-engine car with no electronic aids could overwhelm the rear tires without warning, earning the car the nickname Widowmaker. For 1978, Porsche increased displacement to 3.3 liters, added an intercooler, and raised output to 296 horsepower. Approximately 21,500 Type 930s were built before 1989. Every turbocharged road car since 1975 owes its existence to what the 930 proved, that turbocharging could be reliable and generally fast in everyday ownership. Number 5. The Volkswagen Golf GTI, 1976. 6 engineers at Volkswagen built the Golf GTI in their spare time without authorization from company management. They were convinced that a sporty version of the new Golf hatchback would find an audience. Volkswagen's board was unconvinced. They agreed to a production run of 5,000 units to recoup development costs, on the condition that the project proved itself. The GTI sold 461,690 units of the first generation alone. The Golf GTI was introduced at the Frankfurt Motor Show in September 1975 and went on sale in the summer of 1976, priced at 13,850 German marks. The engineering solution was elegantly simple. Take the Golf's front-wheel drive, front-engine platform, fit a fuel-injected version of the 1.6-liter engine producing 108 horsepower, add stiffer suspension, wider tires, stronger brakes, and a closed-ratio gearbox, and wrap the package in a subtly modified body with black wheel arch extensions, a red stripe across the grille, and plaid sport seats. The total weight was approximately 810 kilograms. The result ran from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 10 seconds and reached a top speed of 180 kilometers per hour. Performance figures that had previously required a dedicated sports car costing 2 or 3 times as much. The concept the Golf GTI proved was not that performance was possible. It was that performance and practicality could occupy the same vehicle at the same price. A family of 4 could use the GTI to do the school run on Monday morning and then exercise it on a mountain road on Saturday afternoon without compromise in either direction. That idea, which now seems obvious, did not exist as a production reality before the summer of 1976. Every hot hatch ever built since, every practical performance compact, from the Ford Escort XR3i to the Peugeot 205 GTI, to every modern hot hatch competition, descends directly from 6 Volkswagen engineers who built a car their management did not want in their spare time. Number 4. The Bosch ABS braking system, 1978. On a conventional braking system, pressing the brake pedal with sufficient force causes the wheels to lock. A locked wheel generates less braking force than a rotating wheel at the threshold of lock, and it generates zero steering force, meaning a car with locked wheels cannot be steered in any direction regardless of what the driver does with the steering wheel. Skilled drivers had long known to pump the brakes in emergency situations to prevent lockup, a technique called cadence braking. The problem was that human reaction times were too slow to do this optimally, and most drivers could not do it at all under genuine emergency conditions. Anti-lock braking had been developed for aircraft by Dunlop in the 1950s and used on jet aircraft, including the Avro Vulcan and the English Electric Lightning. The core concept, using sensors to detect wheel deceleration rate and releasing brake pressure momentarily before reapplying it, was patented in automotive application by Bosch engineer Heinz Lieber beginning in 1964. The first practical automotive ABS, co-developed by Bosch and Mercedes-Benz, appeared on the Mercedes-Benz W116 S-Class as an option in 1978. The system used wheel speed sensors at each corner, an electronic control unit that processes sensor data approximately 1,000 times per second, and hydraulic modulators that could apply and release brake pressure far faster than any human input. A car with ABS could achieve maximum braking force while the driver maintained full steering control, allowing them to steer around an obstacle while braking at maximum intensity simultaneously. The first production ABS system was expensive, complex, and limited to high-end Mercedes-Benz models for several years. It became mandatory across all new passenger cars sold in the European Union in 2004 and across the United States in 2012. In the intervening decades between 1978 and those mandates, ABS is conservatively estimated to have prevented several 100,000 fatal accidents worldwide. No other single automotive engineering achievement of the decade has saved more human lives. Number 3. The Renault 5 Turbo, 1979. Renault developed the 5 Turbo specifically for the World Rally Championship, requiring a street-legal homologation version. Engineers took the standard Renault 5 body and relocated its engine from the front to the middle of the car, behind the driver and ahead of the rear axle. A turbocharged 1.4-liter engine producing 160 horsepower sat in a tubular steel chassis with the standard hatchback bodywork forming the outer shell. The rear fenders were dramatically widened to accommodate the rear-biased weight distribution. 0 to 100 km per hour arrived in approximately 6.5 seconds. The rally version produced 350 horsepower. Only 1,690 road examples were built, each essentially a race car with registration plates. And the concept informed an entire generation of rally homologation road cars through the 1980s. Number 2. The Ferrari 308 GTB, 1975. The Ferrari 308 GTB is a car that saved Ferrari as a company, and the engineering achievement behind its design is inseparable from the financial reality that preceded it. By 1974, Ferrari was in genuine financial trouble. The oil crisis had destroyed the market for large displacement sports cars. The solution came from Pininfarina designer Leonardo Fioravanti, whose 308 GTB debuted at the 1975 Paris Motor Show using a transversely mounted 2.9-liter V8 rather than Ferrari's traditional longitudinal V12. The V8's mid-engine transverse mounting positioned mass lower and closer to the car's center of gravity than any previous Ferrari road car, improving handling balance measurably. Early 308 GTBs used fiberglass bodywork, reducing weight to approximately 1,050 kilograms. With 255 horsepower through 4 twin-choke Weber carburetors and a genuine 250 km/h top speed, the 308 GTB sold over 12,000 units, more than any previous Ferrari, and became the foundation for the company's survival through the decade. Number 1. The Porsche 917 Longtail and the complete domination of Le Mans. No automotive engineering achievement of the decade was as total or as consequential as what Porsche did at the 24 Hours of Le Mans beginning in 1970. The Porsche 917 had appeared at the Geneva Motor Show in March 1969, a machine so extreme that it required 25 cars to be built for homologation into Group 5 sports car racing. Porsche built all 25 in time and then proceeded to develop the car at a pace that no competitor could match. The 917K short-tail version and the 917L long-tail derivative, developed specifically for the Mulsanne Straight's high-speed requirements, represented the most sophisticated understanding of racing aerodynamics that any team had yet applied to a closed sports car. The flat 12 engine began at 4.5 liters and was expanded to 4.9 liters for the 1970 season, producing approximately 580 horsepower in race specification. The critical engineering breakthrough was in aerodynamics. Early 917s had been dangerously unstable at high speed due to lift generated by the body shape, and test driver Brian Redman famously described the first 917 as the most terrifying car he had ever driven. Porsche engineer John Horstman, working with Gulf Oil team manager David York and designer Joe Kaufman, reshaped the tail of the car through progressive wind tunnel development through 1969, transforming a car that could not be driven at its theoretical maximum speed into one that was stable, predictable, and devastatingly quick. The 917L Longtail version, developed with aerodynamics expertise that Porsche had accumulated through its racing program, reached speeds exceeding 390 km/h on the Mulsanne Straight. Porsche 917s won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1970 and 1971 outright. The 91710 and 91730 Can-Am variants, developed subsequently with turbocharged 4.5 and 5.4-liter flat 12 engines, producing over 1,100 horsepower in race trim, dominated the Canadian-American Challenge Cup Series so completely that the series was canceled, having become effectively a single manufacturer competition. The engineering knowledge generated by the 917 program, in aerodynamics, in turbocharged engine development, and in race car chassis construction, fed directly into every Porsche road and race car produced in the decade that followed, and established the company's technical reputation for the next 50 years. The 917 did not simply win races. It established a standard of engineering commitment and development pace against which every subsequent motorsport program has been measured.